Leah Mansour is a guest that I wanted to save for the end of the semester, in part because she's busy traveling all over with the startup that she's heading up right now called Wawiwa, Reskilling the World to Tech. But also because I wanted to make sure we have time in this penultimate class to deal with something that is really so critical for leadership today, and that is not just understanding technology and how to be trained to use tech well, but artificial intelligence, which is the most developed and the most discussed and the most consequential form of technology in all of our lives today. Very, very important that we understand this. Now, Leah is in a very interesting position as a businesswoman, a business executive who has worked in the United States for many years. She was a senior executive at Encyclopedia Britannica for a long time and broke through, in some ways, the glass ceiling there, perhaps. She will speak to this. As a woman working in a male dominated field, she really understands that. But since she left Encyclopedia Britannica, which is a good source, by the way, when we talk about sources, I have my set at home, all of them. She has headed back to Tel Aviv in Israel, where she has begun this new initiative called Wawiwa, in which she and others are setting up tech centers around the world to train everybody, including younger people, on how to become proficient with technology in their lives and how to make them more productive in the labor force. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is in terms of leadership today, but just in terms of our lives professionally, that you understand how to use AI and tech in your lives. And I'm going to assume something today about all of you. That's those online, the many who are watching the recording later. Leah, there are enrolled in this class, Global Leader, there are about 40, 45 students. And you're just seeing, a small portion of them. A lot of them watch the recordings later and do their assignments that way. I'm going to assume that all of you out there in recordings, here in the cosmos, do not know much about technology, even though we generally say the opposite as educators, that the younger generation knows so much. They're so ahead, they're really proficient. I'm going to take the view that actually you have a lot to learn. And the reason I say that is because, and I can't emphasize this enough, and then I'm going to conclude and let Leah begin. You are part of a generation in which digital intelligence is beginning to seriously surpass biological intelligence. There are people, including just down the highway here at University of Toronto, Geoffrey Hinton in computer science department at University of Toronto, who just won the Nobel Prize for science. He is the sort of creator of the theory of artificial intelligence. That's why he won the Nobel Prize. There are many people right now, whether it's Sam Altman at OpenAI with ChatGPT, whether it's Ray Kurzweil as well, who, along with Geoffrey Hinton, worked at Google for many years, who are all speaking about this shift. Leah is going to be able to speak to this and help us to understand what Wawiwa is doing professionally to help with retraining, reskilling everybody. But she can also speak as a leader personally herself, someone who understands how to take initiative, somebody who understands how The world works from a professional standpoint. She's worked in the United States. She's back home in Tel Aviv. She's worked in East and in Asia. She's been all over, and she still goes all over. So we're lucky to have her, somebody who is that personally involved in these things, but also walks the talk. She's creating this new initiative that I think you should all know about. So, Leah, I'd like to just introduce you to my in-person students today. Usually there are more, but because of the storm, it's been more difficult to get here. But there's a Siwi over here to my left. He is from Nigeria. Okay. There's Brandon Thomas, a longtime student of mine in short history of the world, who's just now started work in an indigenous center that he got in a legal clinic, I believe. There, right, Brandon? There's Vicky Pike as well, who has an amazing story. And then, of course, there is Kellyanne from Cameroon. And she also is very much a global citizen, educated sort of in French, but now has come here and is learning in English. And then online, we have Ariel Harry, we have Peta. Peta is always jumping in with great things to say from the Caribbean. We have Su Young as well from China. Augustine today. Augustine, I can't remember where you're from originally. Are you able to jump on your microphone or just put it in?
Yeah, originally I'm from Nigeria.
You're from Nigeria as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
from Nigeria.
Great. Okay. So then, and then in terms of the individuals watching the recordings, Leah, they're also very much from all over the world. Some of them are back home, some of them are here. So it's very much a global class. Now, I just have to, good. So, one final thing, technically, because I get a little bit paranoid about the tech when I'm all alone. In terms of what you're all seeing, Leah, do you still see just the room and you see Augustine's A on the big
Yep.
board? Great.
Correct.
Okay, good. So it's because what I don't want is for the people watching online, the recordings, whenever somebody speaks, that it defaults to them and it stays there and we lose the class view. The idea with the global classroom is that everybody, whether they are in person, whether they are joining us online synchronously, or they're asynchronous watching the recordings, they're all experiencing the exact same thing. This room. We're all connected. You got it. We're all having a class. And it's happening. Great. So, if any of you have any questions right now, please hold them. I'd like Leah to begin her little presentation. She's just going to speak for 5-10 minutes or so, and then we're going to interact together. And then around 11:20, 11:25, we're going to put some critical notes on the GC cards here, and we'll let Leah go. All right? So we'll have lots of time to interact. And since it's a smaller class, everybody will have a chance. So Leah, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Great. So thank you. It's great to meet all of you. And it's quite an experience to be part of this class. And you really meant it when you said it's a global classroom. It is truly a global classroom. So my name is Leah Mansour, and I'm currently the VP of Business Development at Huawei Watech. And I describe myself as a global executive with a strong tech background and years of international experience. Although I think my real specialty is finding my way in new and unfamiliar situation. My journey into tech started when I actually decided to follow in my brother's footsteps and enroll in a technical high school, a very prestigious high school. It was pretty groundbreaking at that time, and I'm talking about over 30 years ago, as computer studies classroom were rare, really. And a gender equal classroom, because I did study in a gender equal classroom, is hard to find even today. So in those days, especially in a school that was about 90% male student, that was a very exciting study. My brother was the one who actually nudged me towards computers. It was a new industry at that time. And lucky for me, I fell in love with this area. And that decision set me on a path that led to my career. And I couldn't have imagined back then that I would be on this path. I actually dreamt of being a dancer and an astronaut and many other dreams.
This I
Never
didn't
thought,
know. Dancer, that's
yeah,
cool. Go
never
ahead.
thought that I will be in a computer
Yeah.
environment. After high school, I joined the Israeli Defense Force as a full stack developer, so as a professional computer developer. And I alternated between professional coding and serving as a tech trainer. So the love for training started in that school of the army. And those years not only solidified my love for tech, but also taught me disciplines, leadership, mentoring, and also how to debug a code at 3 a.m., which is still a useful skill, although I have to say that AI can help you now save a lot of time and maybe not work so hard in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Sure.
Right after my service, while juggling my computer science degree, I joined a startup launched by a childhood friend. The startup days were insane, like every startup is. It doesn't matter what the area of activity you're doing. We actually invented a toy-like keyboard that connected to the computer and let infant interact with short cartoon movies and actually make an influence on the movie. So it was an interactive activity with a toy connected to the computer.
Yep.
And at those days, we all did everything. I led the establishment of the development team, but I moved very quickly into marketing and business. Um, I also carried around a giant desktop computer to the first trade show that we had in New York, because those days there were no laptops. So the whole demo was with huge desktops.
Yeah. Yeah.
I pitched to investors. I set a partnership with buyers around the globe. And eventually I did relocate to New York for a couple of years to establish our US subsidiary. And this is where I caught what I call the international bug, right? Traveling, meeting new cultures, interacting with people, navigating business globally. And actually, I have to say that working in a startup was a wild ride, crazy hours, but I enjoyed every moment of it. And but when the company went public, which we did went public, I decided to actually it's good time to move on. After that period of time, I joined an edtech company that expanded internationally. And later, as you've mentioned, I spent almost 20 years
20 years at Encyclopedia Britannica.
as a senior VP of international businesses at Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yes.
At Britannica, I eventually managed all markets outside of North America, overseeing subsidiaries in countries like India, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, France, Israel, UK, Australia. It was very, very interesting. And I have to admit that I did survive building a family while traveling on average 1 week per month. So I think that I probably chose the right partner to do so. It's not an easy task, but it is possible. And I encourage women in the room, not to give up on career and not to give up on family. It is possible to combine both.
You can do both. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I
Okay.
believe
So
so. It requires some, good partnership and a balance, but it is possible. And I never,
Kellyanne
yeah.
is giving a little smile. Kellyanne is giving a little smile here. Okay, good. Let's see. Go on. Yeah.
I have to say that I also had to adapt to working remotely using video calls about 15 years before COVID-19 changed all of our lives and turned video conversation and meetings into a regular course of a business.
Yes.
Along the way, I did build a very unique international time zone schedule that allowed me to balance career demand with family needs and working globally with so many markets. So I had quite an interesting 24 hours
Yes.
working hours, but it worked for me and it worked for my family, and that was great. um, Remember when that I mentioned a gender challenge when I was in high school, with being in a whole male, 90% male high school. But I think it helped me to deal with the challenges in my career, because when I joined Britannica, the global management team that was sitting in Chicago was actually a room full of white men in their 60s. And there I was, a woman in her 30s, a foreigner, and someone who dared to question things. So it was not easy. It actually was
Yeah.
very, very interesting, to say the least. but it also taught me invaluable lessons about navigating challenges, listening more than assuming, and also the importance of adaptability in leadership.
Yeah, exactly.
So also taught me to be humble and respectful. So all of these are very important lessons.
Yeah.
A bonus, I think that my tech background came in very handy during my career. Although I've moved from technology development into business oriented and management and marketing and sales,
Yes.
I could see that in those days, even at Britannica, because Britannica went through radical digital transformation at the
Oh,
time that I
of
joined.
course. Sure.
From
I remember watching.
moving from print
Yeah.
to digital,
Yeah.
and the fact that I had a tech background gave me a huge advantage and an edge when I had conversation with the developer and the product teams in our group, because they could not BS me. I knew exactly what they're talking about, and what a time frame means and what the development cycle looks like. So it really helped my career. Jumping to now, after 20 years at Britannica and a much needed break, which I actually used to upskill myself, because I do believe in lifelong learning and the fact that you never assume that you know enough, and you
Yes.
have to
Yes.
upskill yourself. It doesn't matter how much you develop your career. I joined Wawiwa Tech. At Wawiwa, we help organizations and institutions worldwide train the next generation of tech talent through reskilling and upskilling programs, from cyber analyst to data analyst, development programs, uh, uh,
Yep.
digital graphic designer, different type of programs. And our mission is to actually bridge the tech skills gap. And we work
Yes.
globally with partners to set up training centers in places like Canada,
Yep.
Mexico, Ecuador, Philippines, the UK, and we wish to have many, many, many more. It's incredibly fulfilling to be part of a company that's not only shaping the future of workforce, but actually impacting people's life and livelihood in a meaningful way. Because being part of a tech market does provide a better livelihood for the family. Usually, salaries are higher compared to
Mm.
the average in those
Mm.
in the countries,
Yep.
so
Yep.
it has a big effect. But I have to say that it is challenging to go through another major digital transformation that affects our jobs and the way that we learn. And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
AI is,
Yep.
if I went through the internet transformation, 25 years ago, no, now it's my punishment, another transformation and AI. But it's actually also exciting because, one should embrace it and find ways of how to use it correctly. And I'm sure we're going to talk more about that.
Well, how to embrace AI in a
Yeah,
way that is realistic
yeah,
and not filled with hype will
yes,
be an exercise for us,
exactly.
afterwards. That's great. Okay.
Exactly.
Keep going. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Good.
this is me in a nutshell. I'm a techie who stumbled into global leadership by saying yes to opportunities, learning as I go, and constantly finding ways to adapt and change and evolve. And I'm really excited to be part of this class. And thank you for, asking me to join. And thank you for letting me share my story. And I'm
Excellent.
here
Thank
next.
you. Leah, thank you so much for a really helpful introduction that launches us into all sorts of places we need to go. But I want to bring us back to something, and then we can start the conversation, okay? And if you have any questions, get ready. You're going to have lots of time to interact with her. I've written on the big board behind me, and I want to make sure everybody sees this, and I'm going to test to see if you can see it online. PETA, what does it say on the big board right now that I've written? PETA?
It says hold on. I'm not seeing the top part. Um Hold on. I see tech background gave me a huge advantage. I'm not seeing the
Yeah.
other
Are
part.
you on a laptop or are you on your phone?
I'm on a laptop.
Okay. So you've most of it. Good. So you can see pretty well, but I'll read it for everybody so that you understand what just came straight firsthand from a person who is succeeding, who's demonstrated her leadership. The fact I had a tech background gave me a huge advantage. And then she has told us things I didn't know because I didn't have enough time to speak with her as much as I would have liked to beforehand about her whole computer science background, following her brother, the college she went to, etc. So, for the next half an hour, and we'll see how Leah's time is. Maybe she can stay a little bit longer, but if you have to go in half an hour, Leah, no problem. I know you're busy.
Yeah.
Everybody, please get your head into this. You're interacting with somebody who's going to teach you a lot firsthand about what you need to know and how you need to know it in order to succeed in a very complex, digitally transforming world. So, anybody have any questions they want to start with? I know, Vicky, you had something online. Let's see. I have lots of questions too, but I don't want to, hog the time. This is all about what you need to know. Do we go default? Do you want to, Vicky? Do you want to try, or Isiwi? Do you want to try? Let's see. Let's see from Isiwi. Let's just start, okay? It's always at the beginning. It's a little bit slow, Leah, but then we get going. But remember, hold it like karaoke. And so, any question is, even if it's critical and you don't believe a word she says, fair enough. You can ask that. She's a big girl. She's been around. Go ahead. Brandon's got a question. Okay, you want to get the mic over to Brandon and hold it? Yeah.
So, so how would I be able to use technology in my office as a disabled person
Great
to
question.
allow me to be able to complete my job?
Did you get all of that, Leah?
Can you repeat the question? No, I'm not
Go
sure that
ahead.
I heard
Hold
all
the
of it.
microphone a little
It was
closer.
a bit. It was a bit on delay. So
Oh yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Try it again. Go ahead, Brandon.
So, like the
Hold it and then you talk. Is that good?
um. So, how would using technology help me be able to complete my everyday tasks in my office?
how does using technology helps you today in your work?
Everyday tasks, in his everyday tasks at the office. Okay.
Wow. Um, this is a huge question. One should know what everyday task is, but I think that today more than ever, technology changing our lives. If before, um, you know, tech- I still remember the days that I used to send a fax, right, and praying to get an answer within a week or so. Not sure if the one received my fax on the other side. And when we moved into computers and personal computers and emails, suddenly everything is so immediate, right? You send an email, you can see if someone responding. It's improving my day-to-day work. It doesn't matter what job I do. And after this, you came with the phones, with the instant messages. And now you also have more technologies like AI, which making a huge impact on everyone's job. I think that the statistics that we're talking about is that 30% of the tasks in 60% of the current jobs uh, can be automated. And this is not me saying this. This is PwC saying that. And it's true in positions in marketing, in software development, in legal services, in healthcare, in art, in graphic, in multimedia. So technology is impacting our jobs and all of our jobs. It's not someone else's jobs, it's our jobs. And the sooner we adapt these type of technologies and we get, we can stay in the job market. But, the exact technology that can be used in each one's job, this is something that needs to be examined. There's no general answer for this question. But in most work environment, technology make an impact.
Well, let me add to something because I think I know where Brandon is going, and but I may be wrong for a second. You're asking how tech can help you specifically in your daily office life, right?
Yes, but my disability, my lack of being like physical and
Yeah, yeah.
even being able to hold a microphone
Classic.
properly,
Sure, sure.
I have a lot of trouble with like everyday tasks. Especially now,
Yes.
a disease is progressive, so I get worse going on. Like, I'm not what I was in 2019.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm no spring chicken ever.
You're no spring chicken. Yeah, for sure. Okay, but I will say something for a moment, and then we'll move on because we want to come back to this. Look at this. Okay, I mean, of course, you're limited, but then look at the you have a device that holds you, moves you. You have this a microphone, but you need the human to help you. But but part of the answer is right around you. You are being assisted by tech
I
right
know,
now, right?
like, I love the movie I Robot.
I robot. Yeah.
We're getting there.
I think the PS robots, I think they would be an amazing technology, but if you read the book or watch the movie,
Yes. Yes.
it doesn't end up working out too well in the end. I'm a little afraid of that.
Well, don't ruin the ending for those who haven't seen it, like me. Okay, do not say the ending. Okay, but can we stop for a second because we are blessed
Yep.
with a moment here that Brandon has brought us to, and we'll come back to this, which is this idea of human augmentation. We are looking right now at a human augmented by technology. Don't assume that we're not all experiencing the same too. We are all being augmented by tech too. So I just want to make sure we have enough time, Brandon, to move around to everybody
Yep.
as well. But thank you for bringing that to the class, that idea of augmentation, because it's a critical, and not to be scared of it. There is so much fear among older people today, like my generation, and younger people, that all this tech is going to be ruinous for the human race, is going to do something to us that we don't like. Leah can help us to understand that it can augment, it can strengthen, it can make us better. Right, Leah? Is that fair in sort
I
of
can do
saying?
I can do my best. But if not, you can replace me with an avatar. Maybe I'll do a better job.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go around a little bit. Thanks, Brandon. Now let's come back to Siwi. Are you think you're ready for? Go for it.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak to you, Leah. My question is, same way AI is taking over the most of the activity in the world right now. I really want to ask, what's the next feature gonna look like? Because seeing that most of our activities are centered around AI, and presently, and there's a projection that in the nearest future AI will do better than what it's doing today. But however, how is it going to affect the humans in terms of personal relationship?
In the next, say, 30 years, not too far ahead, but like in your lifetime. In your life, go ahead, Leah.
Yeah, I think that again, we have to remember that the journey of AI did not start today. The fact that it is right now, we're seeing the fruits of the work that started, in the late 50s. This is how long it took AI to evolve to a place where we as human can actually see the real interaction and real activities of AI. So let's remember, this is not something that happened, overnight. But I think that you're right to say that it is a conversation right now, because we do see with the likes of ChatGPT and or OpenAI and Dale and Midjourney and many other tools which exist surrounding AI, how it is affecting the market, right? We see, first of all, we see many jobs which are disappearing effectively right now. There is a statement by McKinsey saying that about 375 million jobs or million workers globally would need to switch job roles due to automation. Okay, and this is a huge number. Okay, because AI will do some of the jobs better. We see that in clerical work, we see that in data entry, we see that in customer service, even in journalism and copywriting. Even for what we were, when we produce some of our materials, we are using AI tools, right, to do some of our blog writing, some of the content writing. We use those tools. We don't replace it completely, yes, but we are making usage of these tools, and therefore we're using less people, right, in order to do that. At the same time, okay, the introduction of AI also bring new jobs. Okay, jobs that we never, who heard about a prompt engineering until a year or 2 years ago?
Yeah.
This
Prompt
job,
engineering.
prompt
Good job.
engineering.
Prompt engineering. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is a new job role that nobody was thinking about before. And we can talk about machine learning, and we talk about ethics. AI brought in a lot of ethical questions. Okay, so there are new jobs, right, surrounding the ethics and the usage of ethics in AI. We talk about compliance. We talk about AI trainers and model trainers and neuron trainers. I mean, there's so many new positions which are opened. And actually, people are very afraid, and they keep saying, oh, machine will do our work. But actually, what we should be afraid of, or what we should be ready, is that people that have AI skill and know AI will replace those who do not use AI. Okay, I think this is the biggest fear that we should be afraid of. Not that the machine will replace us, but people with the right skill set will replace us, and therefore it is our responsibility, right, to ensure that we upskill ourselves and we continue to learn new technologies. Doesn't matter how old we are, right? We need to embrace those technologies in order to embed them in our life.
Yeah, it's. I see a Siwi writing something down, and that's always a good sign. If it's not me writing, but he's actually writing it now, that's great. And you're writing it at the right time too, Siwi. That's excellent what she said. Now, let's go into the cosmos, I call it, Leah, which is, you'll see all the little planets on the Toria thumbnails, okay, which is the online synchronous classmates right now. And I see Su Young has his hand up. He's from China originally. Su Young, please go ahead.
Thanks for giving me a chance to talk. So since everyone was talking about AI, I want to mention something completely different. And this topic might be a little big, but please feel free to give your take on this. And
yes,
so my question is, how much do you think cryptocurrency might impact our economy?
I have no idea. Maybe you ask Trump about it, This is not my specialty, so I'm not going to claim something that I have absolutely no idea about. It is impacting, right? But I admire people who learn about it, but I'm clueless about that crypto.
But I'm glad, Su Young, I'm glad you asked something that is sort of related, which is a digital currency, and, we're dealing with AI and how that might be involved. But just notice from a leadership standpoint, you may not have seen. She didn't tell you something that she doesn't know. She said, I don't know. Just for a moment, just as a skill. As a leader, as somebody in a position of responsibility, you don't lie. You don't deceive the people who work for you. You don't make things up just to look like you're supposed to be a leader. We have many people in power today who do that. I'm not going to mention names, okay? They're all over the world.
Yep.
That's called BS. She didn't BS. She didn't go into an answer because she wanted to look authoritative. She said to Su Young, I don't know. Su Young, are you okay with that, or did you expect our guest to know everything?
Well, I guess I can't force her to say something.
Okay, good.
But by the way, but having said that, it's a great segue to what is the danger of using AI is because if you would ask ChatGPT something like this, one of the problems today is that even when he doesn't know the answer, okay, he will still give you an answer, which will be
Right.
completely bullshit, which has a danger, right, to create a different, a wrong picture in your mind. And that's one of the things that
Yes.
that are the danger of AI. And this is why humanity is here in a changing its role, but we are here to be the critical thinker. And I think that one of the elements that we need to really to sharpen is still ask a lot of questions, critically think about issues, not accept answers or videos that we watch as the truth, an absolute truth. We have to really dig into the information and dig into the facts. If not, we become really shallow and really useless very fast. And I think this is where humanity needs to sharpen its capabilities and not let AI take over.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot of BS in AI, and we need
Yeah.
to be critical about it.
Kadia, could you hold your question for a second? Because I want to address what she's just said with a great example. I know it's going to help the conversation. So, Kadia, just hold on, please, and we'll come right to you in a moment. I'm going to give you an example of how AI makes things up and BSs, because that's what AI does, and it's an amazing example. 3 of our most important thinkers right now on AI in the world, 2 or 3 of them, have mentioned this. Sam Altman, in an interview at Harvard University recently, where there was a fireside chat where he spoke for an hour at Harvard in front of all the students there, 2,000 or so, and he talked about, he's the creator of OpenAI. He's the one who created ChatGPT. So he's the most important person right now, inventor in the world in AI. He's the one leading the technology. Sam Altman, OpenAI, California. And he gave an example. Ray Kurzweil also gave the same example. Ray Kurzweil is one of our most important thinkers in the future, thinking about technology. He came up with the term, wait for the singularity. Humans are going to be surpassed in machine intelligence in 2029. He said this in 1999 with his best-selling book, The Age of Spiritual Machines. He was Google's senior developer before he left and began his own work. He has a university now in California. They both gave this example. They said, you know what? There was recently a test that I think it was OpenAI was doing with some of its new tech, and a human user was asked by the AI, could you help me solve this problem? And the human said, are you a robot? Because the human wasn't sure yet why he was being asked to help this AI, and the human didn't know it was an AI, just knew that he was part of this test. And the human said, "Are you a robot?" Do you know what the AI said? "No, I'm just visually impaired." And the human believed the answer, and they went on with the test. In other words, the AI lied, but it didn't know it was lying because it's not conscious of itself. It lied because the AI's job is just task oriented. All it's supposed to do is answer your question. And if it doesn't have the answer, it will make something up to give you the answer. We call that a hallucination. It's not hallucinating. It's doing what it's trained to do, which is it's very task oriented. Do you understand the difference? Incredible example of how if we didn't have the critical thinking ability, as Leah said, to understand what AI is, we would just be the dumb users and we would be easily manipulated.
Yep.
Fascinating example. Okay. Kadia, go ahead, please, and then we'll come to Vicky.
Hi, morning everyone. On this whole topic of AI, I don't want to be pessimistic, but my question is, what are your thoughts in terms of AI malfunctioning and probably harming us in the future? I see where Elon Musk created the robot now, and I see all celebrities using these robots and trying to get, I guess, the world acquiesced with these things. I guess the ease or mind. I already also saw an article
Yes.
where Harvard students use the Microsoft Glass, and they added whatever features they needed to add to it, and they were able to just scan people's face and get all their details. You
Yep.
know, something like that is very dangerous. I see these things in movies. I didn't realize that one day I'll actually see these things in real life. How dangerous do you think this can get for us as human beings?
I think it will be very dangerous. I think that AI, on one hand, is promising, it's helpful, it's amazing, but it also can create the end of humanity. I think this is real. I think that things that we have seen in the movies 20 or 30 years ago became life today. True, you know, we envisioned that, right? When I look back, one of my favorite films when I was growing up, you know, was the Star Wars and Star Trek and all of these
Yeah.
space related programs. And listen, some of the technologies that they were talking about, it's incredible. We find it today. Okay, you know, the flying machines, the thinking, the AI, the creation of robots that eventually take over the world. We can see that happening because, as I said, with AI, there's a lot of dangerous. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
so we see that already in social manipulation. You know, when AI and bots are intervening in social media campaigns, right? Manipulating and impacting the way of people are thinking. We see that already in the ability to create uh, movies, right? Realistic movies using
Yes.
AI. As you said, you talk about scanning the
Yep.
faces of people. Do you know how many horrible things are now happening using AI, even in the porn industry or with children
Oh,
or
jeez.
you know, it's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
And this technology, on one hand, is amazing because it can create amazing graphic and save time and create very creative materials, but it also has dark usage. And this is true in even in financial crisis, right? I mean, one of the biggest fear is that, you know, if you let AI do all your trading, like Professor Lon was mentioning, AI
Yes.
has no
Yes.
fear and they have no conscience. They can do small little hundreds and millions of instructions,
Yeah.
right? In a
Task
fraction
oriented,
of a
very task
heartbeat. Exactly. It's very
goal oriented. That's
and
all it
and,
is.
and
Goal oriented.
sometimes when it involves human, let's say that humans are looking in trading, right? And you suddenly see a lot of trading happening in different places, you get fear, okay? And AI doesn't have this fear, but human do have this emotion, right? And we are affected by our emotion as well, which means that we can be manipulated again by technology. And not to mention that the fact that we use more and more technology in weapons, okay?
Yes, yes.
Horrible things can happen using AI or hostile override and turning these weapons against us. So, yeah, I think that as humanity, we need to be careful and work together as global citizens of the world,
Yes,
right?
yes.
To embrace it in one hand, but also put the limits and be very careful with the thing that we are playing with, right? Because it has the the potential of killing us all.
Well, let's. This is excellent. We have things beginning to light up in the cosmos. So the cosmos is getting brighter today, which is good. We're going to come to Pet in a moment. I also want to, Leah, introduce you to a student from Dhaka in Bangladesh who's just joined us, Ajoy. He's written in the live chat, seems like a vibrant session. Hi, Ajoy. How are you today? Are you able to jump on your microphone? There he is. Okay. We see you. We can't hear you.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello,
there.
Professor. Hi,
Great.
Professor. How are you? How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Go
Thank.
ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Professor. And I apologize because I came into it in the late. Because I had another meeting. And welcome to the everyone, and especially the guest. I'm a joy. I was working for a global coordinator for the global class in last since 3 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Still I'm trying to advocating the values of the global citizenship with the global class.
Yes.
uh, and I wanted to inform you that to Professor Lon that I couldn't connect you in last 1 month because I was hired for and for a task that one of the development activist, one of the owner of the NGO.
Yes.
She joined. She joined in the COP29. This global climate action summit
Yes.
from Bangladesh. From the Bangladesh as a delegate. So I was assisting her. To to join.
Excellent. Yeah,
Yes.
no, Ajoy, no apologies. Quite the opposite. It's great to hear you continuing to do what you do in Bangladesh. I should tell you, Leah and others, that Ajoy wrote a great letter to the Canadian consulate in Dhaka in Bangladesh to see if they could help us set up a global classroom in Bangladesh. And Leah, we too are attempting to create a network of classrooms around the world connected to here, the global classroom as a hub, so that we can be the future of global learning. And Ajoy has been assisting with that. We have a classroom set up in the Ukraine at the moment for children who've suffered from the war there. We've been trying to do one in Hungary, in
And
Ireland.
Middle East and
So,
Middle East, Middle
Middle
East.
East,
We're
UAE.
trying to.
But so, Ajoy, thank you. I want to make sure that others can contribute today as well, Peta and Katie and others, and come back here. But Ajoy, stay with us if you can. And before we go for a moment with you, do you have a question at all? Is there anything you'd like to say to Leah Mansour, who's the senior executive with Wawiwa, a startup that is creating data centers, training centers around the world to reskill people on the use of technology? She has so much to say. You weren't here at the beginning. Is there anything you'd like to add to the conversation before we move on?
Yes, I have the question. On the based on AI, because I just joined in 15 minutes. As far I was listening her that uh, I'm most curious or interested about the policy. Okay, whatever you do, and whatever thing is based on the policy. Okay, from the east and west.
Yeah.
So uh, So my question to guess that, do you think that as far how much it gives more vibe on this word AI? So do you think the global governance should really thinking as much as we are thinking as a think tank like Professor Lon and you and some people like Yuval Noah Harari and the people like who are really the positive thinker is really the global governance thinking, okay? And what's your observation? What's your observation that what going to be happen in the global level in terms of the policy matter in this AI and so on? Yeah.
Yeah, good. Leah, do you want me to, did you catch that? Do you want me to
Yeah,
repeat?
Go
ahead. Yeah.
I got the question.
Why don't you go ahead? Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Global governance.
I'm not a global governance expert, yes,
Yes.
but I can only say what I think. My opinion,
Okay,
my
go
own
ahead.
opinion. And I think I've mentioned this at the end of the my answer before. It will have to be a global effort. Okay, I think if there will be no global effort to create some guidelines and rules, in a way like we have tried to create governance surrounding nuclear weapon, right?
Yes, yes.
That's the only equivalent that I have. This is something that has a possibility to endanger, right, the our well-being. So I think that
Yes.
it will have to go up. I think we're already starting to see some discussions globally about AI. Right now, it is still in the midst of, let's say, the power fight between the companies, right, who might want to make money out of AI,
Yes.
and the users who are still not sure what it can do for them, and maybe the governments right now are standing and watching. But I have heard about some rules and some. I think it became around learning, right, and usage of AI and ChatGPT in learning. And I know that there have been some policymakers in the U.S. Right, they started to write some laws about
Yes.
not using, not allowing to use AI in certain tests or in certain learning areas. So I think that eventually this is something that will have to go up, right, to governance level and a
Yeah.
discussion, maybe part of the UN. Everything will have to deal with this again.
Yeah.
Same way that there have been an agreement about hunger, right? And the disciplines of the World Bank about the 7 or 9 guidelines of what they
Yeah.
need to focus on.
It's a huge force in our lives, Leah. It's
Exactly,
a huge
AI will have to be part of it as well. That it just has to. If not, we'll be in big trouble.
Will be in big, yeah, absolutely. So the unity coordination, Ajoy, is going to be perhaps a career opportunity for somebody I'm thinking of right now in Dhaka, Bangladesh, named Ajoy, who could be actually getting involved, Ajoy, in helping to create the global laws, the global standards, possibly with another person from Dhaka, Ajoy Aftab Hussein, your former professor. I'm just giving them some ideas because these are smart guys in Bangladesh. That is a country, a tiny country, tiny geographically, with a lot of people that punches way above its weight. It just had a democratic sort of revolution there. It got rid of its longtime sort of, oh, I wouldn't call her a tyrant, but a more of an authoritarian leader. It's put in a more of a democratic system. And as you know from other global classes we've had with his former professor Aftab, Ajoy and Aftab witnessed some pretty shocking things last summer with this mass student protest that led to their prime minister or president leaving the country. Okay, let's come to Peta. Please go ahead, okay? Peta has a
So my
question.
question is, since AI is the future, and we obviously cannot deny that, right? That's where we're heading.
Undeniable. I
Why
mean,
isn't there
undeniable.
more emphasis being placed on like having free access for like younger people so that they know exactly how to use it responsibly, because there's a lot of things that's going around where they're I don't know the technical term, where they're switching out heads and making videos of their friends as pranks and things like that. Why isn't there like more places that they can go to have free classes where they have certain knowledge so that they can use it responsibly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is where, us as educators, and as users need to come with the requirements and demand to try and make an impact and make better education. Let me give you just an interesting example. I received um, yesterday through my WhatsApp group. I'm part of a technology, women in technology WhatsApp group. Okay, and I received an invitation that was sent by the Ministry of Education in Israel. Okay, an invitation for a February AI session. Okay, and what they were looking for were volunteer from the industry or volunteer that likes AI that can go into schools all across the country, right?
Yep.
And sit down and devote 5 to 10 hours that month, the month of February, the month of AI that they declared it, okay? And sit down with the teachers of that school and pass to them some knowledge about AI. And the Ministry of Education will prepare everything. They will prepare the guide, they prepare the lesson plans, everything. But they needed a big force of evangelists, right, to deliver.
Yeah.
So they've done an amazing thing. Okay, I think it's amazing. They have an open call for anyone who wishes to volunteer. Now they build a database of people like myself, but there are hundreds and thousands, I'm sure, of people, individuals that see that as a mission, right? And in February, I can tell you all about it when it will be done. We will have a chance to go into a school, right, and try to help the staff, right, of the school, the teachers, of how to use AI and how to utilize AI, I guess, in an educated,
Responsibly.
responsible way, and
Responsible way.
hopefully they can take this and train the children as well. But what you're saying requires a lot of responsible act and some leadership. It has to
Yeah.
be centralized. It's not going to happen by itself. Okay, this type of education, this type of sharing knowledge is not just coming from the good heart of a person. It has to be a responsibility of a country, of a city, of a ministry. Someone has to take the leadership of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you. Now, let's remind ourselves about time.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I
First,
really need to
Leah, you have to go.
drop in 5 minutes. Yeah.
I promised her 11:30 our time. It's already 11:35. So I hate to do this, but we need to say goodbye to Leah, and then we're going to take up what she said together. So um, we will have her back if we can. Next semester, and remember, there's a recording available. I highly recommend that you watch the recording and you fast forward to her parts and listen to her and to each other as well. But Leah, big round for her. Thank you very much. Okay, for taking the time and beginning this great conversation. And is there anything you'd like to say as a final word? Otherwise, we'll let you go and finish up the class with everybody. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you and, go out there and dare to try things and learn new things, get yourself familiar with technology. It doesn't matter if it's a small thing or a big thing. You don't need to be a technology expert, but you need to have some background in technology because it will be helpful in any career that you will decide to do. And don't be shy, just do your thing, be a global citizen and make an impact. And I wish you
Sure.
luck.
And Leah, they won't have to bring a large desktop computer.
Yeah,
with them.
true.
Okay. Anyway, take care.
Thank you,
Okay?
guys. Thank you.
Yeah. All the
All
best.
right. Bye-bye.
Good. So let's take a moment to think about what we're doing here. Okay. First of all, I just want to say my own thanks to a higher power, because you have to know something. Today, a big tech problem was solved, and I didn't think it was going to. Just to give you a sense of how problems get solved sometimes with tech, learning how to use the pin on this, Toria, it's not as simple as you think to just pin things here, because everything on this big board is connected to this whole system here, and it's a domino effect, and so there's more systems connected. But to cut a long story short, and to repeat what I already said, at last, I can keep the speaker online up on the big board for the recording and for the online people, because in the past, every time somebody speaks there, it defaults online to a full screen of that, and then it doesn't come back. So the conversation may move on, but I learn when I get home watching the recording that all I'm seeing is still that thumbnail of that one person, and so now it's solved. It got solved because there was a problem today. Maureen left, she came back, I didn't know what I was doing exactly, and then lo and behold, it's solved. I stumbled on it. That's how things sometimes get solved. You should be mindful when you solve a problem that it doesn't come sometimes just because you're going out to solve a problem. You have to know in the moment that something special is happening, and then you seize that moment. That's good leadership. I hope I've demonstrated that today to you, because I suspect you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's something you should always be mindful of. Okay, so we have just 5 minutes left. And I want to make sure that all of you are ready for what's coming, which is next week you have a major assignment due that's worth 30%. So, Su Young, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I have some questions about the Ranger SM, but if you wanna finish what you're talking about, you can go ahead.
Okay. I just want to make sure that everyone's on track, and I'm about to announce some sort of good news about something. And you must always be prepared to do this as a leader if you want to maintain morale of the people around you. Have you noticed I have not marked assignment 3 yet? You may have noticed. I haven't marked assignment 3 for any of my 194 students in all of my 3 classes, because I've been so tied up with personal things, and also the tracking of the discussion posts. It's just been so. Those assignments are going to start coming back in the next 72 hours. But because I'm very late with this, and because your final assignment is due next Tuesday, in other words, you're going to be getting your mark for your 3rd assignment like the day before you hand in your final. That's not good, but that's the way it's going to be. I'm going to be giving everybody bonuses for their 3rd assignment. Okay? In other words, everybody in every class is going to receive a bonus for the fact that I am so late marking the 3rd assignment. Okay? It's the fairest thing. I mean, normally, if I weren't so backed up, you would get the marks and you would get some feedback in a timely way, and you'd be ready for your final assignment. It's going to be too fast this semester. So that little bit of bonus is coming for the 3rd assignment, but I can still give a bit of feedback, as I've been doing general feedback for everything. All right. So I will give you one piece of critical feedback that will help you not only hand in a great final assignment, I think, but will help you in leadership. You must care. If you care, if you truly care about what we've been doing in this class, about your success, about growing as an individual, if you care, you will do good work. If you don't care, you will probably cheat, which means here's what will happen. Even though I've warned you again and again and again and again, here's what will happen. There will be some of you, for whatever reason, but ultimately because you didn't care enough, who are going to go online on Tuesday, December the 10th at around 6 p.m. Final assignment is due 11:59 p.m., 5 hours away. Here's what you're going to do. I know, because I see this more often than not. You're going to go and you're going to suddenly realize, oh, I've got 30% of my grade due. I got to get this in. And so you'll go to your friendly chatbot. And what you'll do is you'll cut and paste something from the assignment sheet, and you'll say to your little chatbot, please deliver this at 1,400 to 1,500 words, written in good English, sort of informally. And if you know Lon Appleby's name, write it in the style that he likes, like natural, You'll order your pizza. Mushrooms, pepper, and, I like some, maybe a little bit of ham. I don't know. And, maybe Lon likes sausage. 30 seconds. Up will come in the window of your chatbot. There's your final assignment. And being sort of the smart user of technology, the long-time cheater that you are, you'll just change a few words to make it sound sort of like you. And then you press send. And I may not detect it. And you may get a great mark. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to walk through life like Elon Musk, who said that he got into the United States because he was an illegal immigrant. And now he's turned around and he's trying to keep all the illegal immigrants out. That's what you'll become. You'll become successful and you will become a cheater. You want that? Great. You make lots of money? Great. You want that on you late in your life, that's what you did. You succeeded because you cheated. You broke the laws. You did everything for yourself. And then you turn around later and you say, I'm not going to help the same people who helped me. Great. Do it. Read about Elon Musk. Read about what a hypocrite he has been, and yet he's brilliant. No doubt. But every time this person stands up next time with Donald Trump and says, keep the immigrants out, you find out how he got into the United States with his brother. It was illegal, and his brother is on the record as saying so. You don't want that. I don't think so. So care, please. Care about being a deep, critical, globally engaged thinker at a moment in history where if you're not, somebody else is going to come along and they're going to manipulate you and you won't even know it. Vicky.
My final,
Yes.
for my final assignment, I'm still working on like some stuff, and I actually had to contact another student from a former class. I saw him like do a video where he has his little icon talking. So I'm like, how do you do that?
Great.
So I've been talking to the student, and he told me what to do. And we were on the computer last night, and he was like, go here and here, Vicky. So later today, because I have 2 hours between classes, I'm gonna do like a mock like thing and just test it out. And then if I have any issues, I can run it through in class, going, hey, what can I do different? You know what I mean? To make this look better. Why did this happen? Why that happened? So I'm gonna do like a video, like where it's gonna be like almost like I said something about documentary. I'm trying to do that.
Trying to do.
I'm gonna try and do the documentary thing.
Great. Go.
Like with a presentation kind of thing with a slideshow, because you did tell me to try that. So I'm like,
yeah.
I will try that because you told me to. I was like, okay. It's a little out of my comfort zone, but I mean, where else are you gonna learn?
Absolutely, Vicky. That's fabulous. And I just want to say,
sorry about my
well,
voice, everybody. I'm just being honest. I'm
it's
so
okay.
sorry.
And I'll conclude, and then I'll let anyone give the final word. I just want to provide another perspective to what I said. I don't want to make any of you sound like you're naturally born cheaters, but it is a reality. It happens. The reason you cheat is not because you're deceptive or you're cunning or you're manipulative. You cheat because you're desperate. I understand that. If you find that you are having trouble meeting the deadline of next Tuesday, and you're really, really stressed with so many things coming at you, here's the responsible thing to do. Instead of letting ChatGPT write the assignment for you, or Grammarly write everything for you, write Lon an email, as many have been doing, and saying, could I have an extension? If I've already given you an extension, one that you are allowed for the whole semester, and I've given out quite a few, if you can make a case to me that you are really, really desperate and you listen to what I said, I might give you another one because I felt that you heard me. Please do not resort to a machine cheating for you in order for you to succeed. Don't do it. We don't want that world. Vicky.
Sorry. How are we not allowed to how are we able to get an extension yet our last day of school is technically December
I don't have to
12th?
get the marks in till the following week.
Oh,
So I have a window.
huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
For sure.
Interesting.
I turn around the 5 marks and I have to be in by the final Tuesday. So I have some wiggle room.
Good to know. Interesting. I'm not sure. Currently, I don't think I'll need one, but if I need one, I'll let you
Yep.
know. And I've asked for one in the past, and trust me, guys, you need it, take it.
Ask for. I had an amazing assignment done many years ago. The student won the Trent University Film Festival contest called Rice and Water. It's posted as, and she came to me like the day before and said, I can't do it. I can't do it. But I really want to do something big, but I can't get it done in time. And so I said, tell me what you want to do. I gave her the extension. Look at the quality of work she did, and she was proud. I don't care about marks, guys. I know you do. Of course you do. I care about you growing and learning. And I will give you the extension here, do this the best I can within the limits of the college, but I have, quite a bit of freedom here to make sure that you walk out of this classroom and you are ready, because I care that this world is incredibly transformative, complex, and strange. And I know what you're up against. I want to help you be prepared. It's an amazing world you're going into, historically speaking. But if you're not smart, you're not educated, you will be left behind. No question. I need to wrap this up, okay? So just, Vicky's got, we can talk offline, okay? Just, what's that? Oh, so let me think about that, okay? No, it's good. I just want to, I'm conscious of time. Su Young, finally, because you were waiting, and then we're going to be done, okay? Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So, so I try to pick up some topic for the essay, and
Yes.
apparently a lot of initiatives, I think they already are existing. I thought about like AI and the mental health. They are already fairly, and social media, and it's kind of just like a social media regulation is already in the UN.
This is a good topic, Su Young. But what's your concern? And you have Madison Wesley, remember, who really could help with some of the research for this, as well as other research. But this is a great topic.
I just don't know if it's okay to like write something that's already out there, basically.
Well, as long as you don't, as long as you're not cutting and pasting from a previous assignment you've done, and that you're simply recycling what you already said in a previous assignment.
I'm not a very good recycler.
No recycling, no cutting and pasting, no BSing.
All right, sure.
Good. It's a good topic. Go for it.
Thanks.
Okay, for sure. Okay, everybody. So I'm going to let all of you go. We can talk offline if you want, if there's anything. Is there anything you want to add, or are you good to conclude? Please care. You are capable of great work. I'm here to help, okay? I'll see you all next week for Repair Cafe in the global classroom. Terrific. All right, so I'm going to, I gotta make sure I do this properly. First, I'm going to save the chat. Good, saved. I'm gonna save the notes, and that has to be done too. And then I will be happy with that. Save, great. And Ajoy, talk to you soon, okay? We can talk on WhatsApp. Please send my best to Aftab if you're still there. Oh, he may have left. Okay. And then this